Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Bob and Weave and other and a Q&A. Thank you, Big Little Voice Books and MGA for joining the show. My buddy SK is in the house. Thank you, SK, for joining the show. SK, I want to thank you for that great video. SK sent me a great video of the Yankees doing an awesome comeback. And I want to let you guys know, never count yourself out. Guys, never count yourself out because you never know, if you keep fighting, you're more likely going to win in whatever you want to come out. I just got done working out. That's why the towel, guys. Thank you for joining the show. So Bob and Weave, as you guys may know, we do have a video up. Princess, thank you for joining the show. We do have a video up that for just $1 donation, very small donation, you can learn how to bob and weave. So we're going to talk today about bob and weave, and this episode, of course, is brought to you by that video. So check it out at our Vimeo channel. Just go to the Bully Exposed and go to Vimeo.com first. Then you do a search for the Bully Exposed. Look for the bob and weave video. The bobbing and weaving, the reason why I've come up with doing bobbing and weaving for you guys is because I know a lot of you guys are either told not to defend yourself by your parents or you don't feel it's right. When bobbing and weaving is the best way to defend yourself without actually defending yourself. That's a good way of putting it. Good morning, MG. Thank you for coming on the show. So let me show you some samples of bobbing and weaving. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to my new friend, Voice What's Right. Voice What's Right. He or she, I'm sorry, I don't know if they're a boy or a girl, but he or she did exactly what I told you guys. You're more than welcome to screenshot our inspirational posts and put them up on your own feed. We are not going to tell you no. Feel free. We are here for everyone to learn how to deal with their bully. So if you can post one of our posts on yours and it changes someone's life, that's fine with us. We're here to help. So, let me also say, guys, let me see, I got to search for my videos here. Oh, I'm a bad host, huh? I can't find the video. Okay, but you can also watch you can also watch any of our episodes on YouTube. Okay, and if you're hearing impaired, or if you're in a place where you're not allowed to listen to sound and you want to read with captions, go to Nonfiction Filmmaker on YouTube, and you'll be able to listen to our show, or read our show, I should say, from there. Also, ways that you can support. You can do like our good friend did and screenshot your post and put it on your feed. That's one way of supporting us without spending any money. You can share the Bully Exposed post. You can share, like their post. You can share it. You can tag a friend on it. You can say something nice, or you can ask a question in the comment section, or you can make a comment, whatever you want to do there. You could also shout us out. And if you go to the Bully Exposed on Facebook, or When Bullies Become Bosses on Facebook, you can leave us a review. Official Holly Eve, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? You could also, if you're in a rush, you could also comment with an emoji. All right, guys? So again, I want to give a shout out to my friend Voice What's Right for copying one of our posts, putting it on hers, and giving us credit. If you want a shout out on this show, tell you what, anybody that screenshots, places one of our posts on their feed, tags us to it, we'll give you a shout out. How's that? All right, so back to bobbing and weaving. I want to show you bobbing and weaving, all right? So you guys can kind of get an idea. First, let me tell you that I follow this guy, Fight Smart Trav. I've been trying to get him on the show for a while. Not successful. I guess he's a very busy guy, which I understand. But he's got a lot of great videos, okay, about how to defend yourself. Okay, remember guys, never throw the first punch. Defend yourself. So what he did was he went out onto the streets and found a couple of guys that he can do the bob and weave technique. He's not allowed to punch them. They're only allowed to punch him. And what he's going to do is bob and weave. So you can see how the bob and weave technique works. So let's see video number 1. There's no sound, guys. As you can see, look, that guy's just missing. That guy's throwing strike after strike after strike, and he's missing. And what it does is that it tires out the opponent. See, because all he's got to do is bob his head back and forth like that, right? And Tully, thank you for joining the show. So he's tiring himself out. Look at that. His punches, if you remember, his punches and swings were fast. Now look, his punches are slower and slower, and you're able to see them coming more, so you're able to bob and weave more. See how much faster he is now as opposed to before? Okay, that's one example how the bob and weave technique works. But guys, you really have to practice it. It has to be something you practice every day. And that's where you go to Vimeo.com, do a search for thebullyexposed.com, and just for $1 donation, and all proceeds goes back to thebullyexposed.com. You can get our bob and weave video. All right, so let's see another video. You can see he's missing, and even if he does graze him, because he's bobbing and weaving, the punches don't hurt. That's another key thing. Thanks everybody smashing that hard. Yes, Princess says it's fun. Yeah, it's fun bobbing and weaving and really getting that technique and doing it. You can see he doesn't stand still. That's one thing he doesn't do. He's always moving back. And he has his hands up, most importantly, guys. And you can see that he pushed his opponent. Don't be afraid to push your opponent away with the bob and weave. So if you add the bob and weave, and look, the reason why he high-fived him is because he actually punched him. And he punched him. The punch was so powerless that he just laughed about it. And he's got no gear on. So that's the important thing. That's what people don't understand. Well, I'm just going to bob and weave my head. What if I get punched? If you bob and weave right, when he punches you, you won't even feel it. So that's another good reason for the bob and weave. All right, we got one more video for you. And again, that is Fight Smart Travis on YouTube. Giving my boy Travis a little credit, a little shout out. So this guy's missing. This guy's missing all over the place. So what you do is you tire out for those kids that their parents say you're not allowed to defend yourself. For those kids that don't want to ever hit people, you just bob and weave all day long. You tire your opponent out. He stops. You pick up your books and you go to your next class. It's that simple. And trust me, that bully's probably not going to mess with you again, because he's thinking to himself, I gave this kid everything I got, and he just I couldn't hit him, so he's not going to embarrass himself again. Think about that for a moment. So the key thing here with the bobbing and weaving is that you don't just stand there. Now, he is a professional. You did see him just stand there, hands down, and wait for the punch to come and move out. He's a professional. He can do that. You always keep your hands up, not in a fist, just up, like you're surrendering. All right, kids. All right, guys. Anyone that's watching. So you can see, where's the point? Is it going to come where he actually just stays completely still? Let's see if it comes. I think it's right here. He's just going to, hands down, and he's just going to stop. See? Hands down, and he's stopping. He's a professional. He can do that. If you get good enough with the bob and weave, you can do that too. And you can tell when that fist is coming. You learn. What I always suggest is get a friend you trust. You always want to get a friend you trust, because I'll tell you why. Tell you guys a story. I've seen guys say, okay, yeah, let's practice fighting. And then they really start wailing on the guy purposely and hard. So get a guy you trust. Get a girl. It doesn't matter. Guy or girl you trust, and do the bob and weave with them, so you can start learning to figure out when a punch is going to come. Once you do that, then you know, it's up to you. You want to show off and drop your hands and just sit there and go back and forth without your hands up in front of your face. You could do that. And, you know, it's really going to either, one or two things going to happen. You're going to really piss off your bully, and he's going to do more, or he's going to leave you alone because he knows, this guy knows something. So let's see. Tully says, I remember Rocky using the bob and weave. Yes, it's a boxing move. Pretty much any martial art uses it, to be honest. They might not call it a bob and weave, because the best thing always is, you know, like I can remember when I took martial arts, my professor would always say that the best way to block a punch is not to be there. And that's basically what you're doing. You're not being there. Let's see. Princess also says, yup, Rocky, good movie. Yes, Rocky, all-time classic. All-time classic for sure. All right, so I'm going to show you guys one more video, and it's a video about what not to do. Okay, let me look up, because I want to give this guy credit. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, this is Urban Central. Urban Central, a kid out of New York. So what he does is he does the bob and weave anywhere he goes. See, he's doing the bob and weave. This is the way you don't want to do the bob and weave. And he's joking. He's making a joke out of it. But you don't. But I've seen people do this, guys. I've seen people do the bob and weave this way. You don't want to do the bob and weave this way because you have no method of countering. Okay, should you have to count? See, his hands are gone. He's off balance. Also, if he took on a real boxer would push him over or do something to mess him up. But he's doing this as a joke. Again, that's Urban Central. Is that what I said? All Urban Central. Very funny. He's got a lot of funny videos on this. But this is not the way you do it. You want to bend down, guys. Bend down at the knees. It's the knees that go down. Now, I know on this video too, even in this video, you can see Trav kind of ducking down too forward. And I'm sure he looked at this and said, oh, I came too forward. It's just down, to the side, and up, like a U. All right, guys? It's not, it's not forward to block because you're off balance. It's down because if you go down and you come back up, your hands and your fists are ready for counters or blocking or punch, whatever they need to do. But if you're going like this and your head's, there's one thing that you need to know. When you bob and weave, if your head is further out than your toes, you're off balance and you can be pushed. You can, you can hurt yourself. So I'm not a boxer. I'm not pretending to be. So I don't want to start saying what could happen if your head's too forward. I just know a lot of my boxing friends, and I remember from taking boxing, is that if your head is more forward than your feet, you're off balance and you can be hurt. So that's definitely something you don't want to do. So let me stop showing this video before Instagram disconnects us. But that is bob and weave. Okay, so you guys, if you want to learn that, it's just $1, guys, $1. Dollar donation to thebullyexposed.com gets you our bob and weave video, and we'll show you how to bob and weave. And if you get the video, let me thank you in advance. When you get the video, practice it every day. This is not something, guys, that you look at once and then you wait for your bully to catch you in the bathroom. You know, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys remember, about a year ago we talked about bob and weave, and we had I think he was an amateur boxer, try to troll us and laugh and say, really, you think you're going to teach kids boxing? I'm not trying to teach you guys boxing, guys. I'm not trying to make you guys the next Mike Tyson. I'm just trying to give you something so that if you're trapped in a bathroom with your bully, you can get out without throwing a fist, throwing a punch. Why I say that? Because I know that there's parents out there, and I know there's kids out there that have told me, my mom doesn't allow me to defend myself. My mom doesn't allow me, or I don't want my son or daughter defending themselves. And that's fine, okay? I'm not here to tell you guys how to live. I'm here to figure out what you're telling me and try to figure a way out where you're safe. That's the best thing. Not to change you or to shame you and say, that's terrible. You shouldn't teach your kids not to defend yourself. No, that's not what this is about. That's not what this channel is about. So, you tell me what your limits are, and I will try my best to come up with something to help you with that. And that's where we're at. So, we did have a question from Tully. Let me look it up here. Let's go here. Sorry about the dead air. Let's see. While we're looking at dead air, you guys should let's see. I can't find a video to give you guys. Let's go with this one.
When I was young, I used to run around my grandmother's garden chasing ladybugs. I ran so much I would tire myself out and fall asleep on the lawn. And when I'd wake up, my body would be covered in ladybugs. I learned a lesson that day. Want to know what it is? Stop trying so hard and let things come naturally.
All right, stop. There's a lesson for today, guys. Stop trying so hard. Let things come naturally. I know some of you guys and girls see a person and they're like, oh, that person's so cool, I want to be friends with them, and they try so hard, they do things that they normally wouldn't do, like maybe bully a kid or laugh at another kid being bullied to be friends with this guy. Don't do that. All right, don't change who you are to be friends with someone. Or some of you might really chase after the person, and if you just be cool and just chill, you'll find that person will come to you. Then you don't have to chase it. And that's the lesson in the ladybug story. And I want to thank Helen Harvey. I want to thank Giovanna Mercury for helping me put that video, that story together. All right, guys. All right. So now let's go to our good friend Tully's question. And feel free to chime in, Tully, with anything that you might have. And you too, Princess. So at what point do you apply resilience to bullying situation before reporting it to management? Now, when I first heard this question, I was sitting down with the other person that helps me with this site, and she didn't understand the question at all. But good job, Tully. Also put in an example. Oh, John, don't worry about that. You just need to be resilient, more resilient towards him or her. So yes, now I understand what he means by resilient. Yeah. And then he said it's something that a teacher actually said to his son. Well, when people are saying resilient, they're making up excuses for the bullying. When they say, oh, bullying is just is just a what is it that people say? Bullying is a part of growing up. Bullying, they're just making excuses. Bullying, what else do they say? Just man up, you'll be okay. They're making excuses. And what I would do, Tully, is definitely have a discussion with the principal and the teacher of this school, and ask the teacher. Don't assume. Don't jump down. Ask the teacher. Did you tell my son that he just needs to be more resilient? First of all, students being more resilient to me means doing something about it. And students should not be handling the situations. They're kids. Students and parents, teachers and parents and principals should not be telling kids you need to be more resilient or handle it yourself, or the one I hate the most is stop being so weird and he won't pick on you. All those are just excuses, and teachers, again, and principals and parents should not be telling their kids to go handle it. No, you need to go handle it. And Princess says, oh, ladybugs. You like ladybugs, Princess? Some people don't know. Ladybug is classified as a beetle, if you didn't know. Beetle is basically, it's not any. There's other classifications to a beetle. But the beetle has most beetles have the hard shell and then tender wings underneath it. So they have to lift that hard shell to expose the wings to fly. And that, what I learned from a kid who loves bugs, is how you know you're dealing with a beetle. I can remember, I'm going to tell a quick story. I remember one time I was up in Zion, in Utah, and they had these huge rhinoceros beetles. Look up rhinoceros beetles and you see what I'm talking about. Tully says, they said, oh, don't worry about Bob. That's just Bobby. Don't worry about it. Yeah, another one. Thank you, Tully. You're on it today. And Princess says, yes, she does like ladybugs. Awesome. You ever seen a yellow ladybug? Only in pictures I've seen them. Have you ever seen a yellow ladybug, Princess or Tully? Tully, you hit it right on the head. That's another technique that people use. Unfortunately, don't worry about him, or that's just boys being boys, those kind of things. Even some people say, oh, that's just mean girl, when it's girls being mean to girls. Oh, that's just mean girl syndrome. No, it's not. We need to train our kids not to be disrespectful. To tell the teacher, with all due respect, teach, what you're saying is an excuse for his bullying. Teach your kids to say that. If my son said that and he was respectful, I would have no problem with that. Because that's what needs to be done. When we see people, I can remember one time when I was at work and this girl was screaming. I think I told you guys this. My boss would scream at me and people would see that and do nothing. And then later on come to me and say, man, I saw what she did to you, blah, blah, blah. Or I heard that I could hear her screaming at you. But they did nothing when it was happening. One time, and I didn't read this in a book, okay? I didn't read this anywhere. I saw this supervisor screaming at another supervisor. I was the steward. Okay, so my job is to keep peace between the management and the supervisors. Management and the workers. And so she's screaming at her. And I turned to her and I said, hey, excuse me. Her name was Cece. Hey, Cece, do you realize what you're doing is bullying, and it's against our laws of conduct. I didn't say laws of conduct. I just can't think exactly what I said, but I'm paraphrasing right now. But it's against our laws of conduct. You can't scream at employees. Do you realize that? She just got up and walked away. I say got up and walked away. She was standing, but she just walked away. So interfering does help. I probably put a target on me, and that's why I'm no longer working with the Postal Service. But That's a different story. But we got to speak up, and the kids have to call out. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably going to get from a teacher that's the worst advice you can give, and take it with a grain of salt, parents and teachers. But we need to teach our kids to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. With all due respect, Mrs. So and so, saying, don't worry about Bob, that's just Bob, or saying you need to be more resistant. Forget it. I'm going to pass that word. Um, that is just excuses. And with all due respect, and I respect you, keep saying respect like 50 times if you have to, but you're not doing the right thing at this moment. And then when you go in as the parent and you talk with them, definitely say, yes, my son was right or my daughter was right, and you can't expect my son to solve this problem with this bully. Because here's the situation. If we expect kids to resolve the situation of bullying, what's going to happen? They're going to probably fight. They're probably going to fight, or if the kid is bigger than your kid, then he's probably going to just beat the mess out of your kid, right? And that doesn't solve anything. And that's why they need that middle person to say, hey, Bob, I know in the past we said that's just Bob, and don't worry, but those times are over now. Okay? It's times are over now to tell a woman, hey, come to lunch with me. I want to talk with you about your promotion. Or the one that's even worse. Hey, I'm going out of town on that business meeting. Why don't you come with me? Why don't we stay in the same hotel room together, and we'll talk about your promotion. That's a big signal right there, what the person's saying. Those are not acceptable anymore, guys. And no longer is it acceptable to say that's just Bob or be more resilient. No, it's not. It's not. It is not. So with this question here that I got, I would suggest to that parent to go talk to the principal and the teacher, have a nice conversation with them, and let them know. Those days are over. Those days are over. And give them examples, right? Harvey Weinstein. There's your proof that those days are just that of accepting what used to be normal. To me, it was never normal. It's really funny how people say, "Oh, you're speaking up about that. You're speaking up about." It was never right for me. I could remember as a kid. Now, I'll be honest, and I told this story before. I wanted to save my reputation, of course. You're a kid. You're a 15-year-old kid. Reputations is huge. But when I saw one of my friends bullying someone, or maybe it may not even be bullying, but it may be picking on someone, I would turn around. What my thing was to say was, you see that kid? You're cooler than that kid. You're better looking than that kid. And if the person was bigger, which usually is the case, you're bigger than that kid. You're better than that kid. Why are you even doing this with them? And the guys will go, oh yeah, you're right, man. They will leave the kid alone. Now, it probably wasn't the right thing to do, but it got that kid to stop being bullied, right? And that's what counts. So I save my reputation. I don't look like, I don't know what word to choose, a nerd or soft, like we used to say in New York. I don't look soft. I still look tough. He still looks tough. The kid gets bullied. The kid doesn't get bullied anymore. And that's what counts. Tully says, Rich, don't you think that it's strange that majority of people at companies always cover up for each other? I hate it. I don't think it's strange because evil will protect evil, unfortunately. Good never protects good, right? I saw a girl being bullied, and I know she's a hard worker, and I know they're just bullying her for whatever reason. I stood up. That very rarely happens. Good never stands up for good, but evil always stands up for evil. So it's not strange to me, but I hate it. I tell you the truth. I hate it every time. And I hope that one of my fellow workers at the station that I worked at with the Postal Service finds this video and says, you know, they were weak, all of them. They would come to me and they would tell me, oh my God, I can't believe she screamed at you. Or even if they don't tell me that, they would tell me, she's evil, she's a witch, she's this, she's that, she needs to be gone. The post office needs to fire her and get rid of her, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, if you file enough petitions or if you file enough grievances, guess what's going to happen to her? You know, yeah, she's going to get a promotion because that's how businesses are. Rather than firing the person, no, they move them to another location and they give them a promotion. But at least she's not here, and our station gets known as the station that will not put up with that. And so don't bring your evil people over here, because we're going to file grievances and we're going to get them out and we're going to do the right thing. No, they decided to just punk out and say, oh, you know, we don't know, and so they don't know that they're being bullied when it comes down to it. And the post office and businesses depend on that you're going to look the other way. But now there are retaliation. There's been retaliation in the books in most countries, I would think, but nobody opposes it. So these companies are allowed to retaliate, fire you for no reason, and then when you try to take them to court, they got the lawyers to just squash you, and then the whole situation goes away. Let's see. Tully says, "LOL, I'm actually referring to my workplace." Yeah, you're referring to many workplaces. Unfortunately, they are all the same. Unfortunately, and it is a shame. It definitely is a shame that that's how we act today as companies and as people. People don't understand that if we stick together, even if the union is corrupt, if we all stuck together, we can do something. If all those people in my station, you go to the union doesn't do nothing, because the union for the United States Postal Service is in bed, in my opinion, with management. It's hard to prove it. You can never prove it. Hey, Tully, what's up? You can never prove it. We know that. Unless somebody really, really looks into the way they should, but they won't. Did I say Tully? I'm sorry. SK. I don't know if I said SK or Tully. I'm sorry. If I said that, I'm sorry. SK. What's up, bud? But definitely, to your question, Tully, they definitely are passing the bill, and they need to be called on it, by turning around and saying, you know, we gotta stop. You gotta stop saying, that's just Bob. Those days are over. Let's teach Bob the proper way to act. Put him in counseling. Put him do whatever you have to do, but put him in do something with him. It's funny, just talking about the little icon that I have up here. I was gonna do an icon. This is just some graphics that we have from a company that we deal with. I was gonna do one of a guy bobbing and weaving, but I saw this one, and we need to, put women more out in light. So that's what I decided to go with this action photo. SK, thank you for starting the Q&A. SK starts the Q&A, and how come it's not popping up? Is it popping up on your guys' side? Because it's not popping up on my side. It's weird. There we go. Okay, Yankees had a fight during the game last night. Yeah, they were playing Boston. There's always a fight when they're playing Boston. There's always a fight, unfortunately. One thing, let's talk about sports for a little bit. Well, I hope you guys don't mind. The one thing that I really dislike about baseball, and I don't know if there's baseball in many countries, so for those of you that don't know, I will try my best to explain it as best as I can. So the pitcher throwing the ball, that the pitcher throws the ball and the batter has to try and hit it. Sometimes what the pitcher will try to do is make the ball come close to the batter without hitting him, to kind of push him back so he's worried about he's not paying attention to his swing, kind of throw him off balance. It's the kind of thing to throw him off balance. But sometimes the pitcher will get upset. Maybe in the inning before the guy hit a home run, right? So the next time he gets up, what the pitcher would do, is actually hit the batter with the ball purposely. And that's probably what started this fight, because I know it started a lot of fights with the Yankees. Guy hits a home run, guy gets up to bat again next time, and they hit him with the ball purposely to kind of discourage him from doing that. I think that is the worst thing in sports. You could kill someone because usually the person turns his back to the ball when that happens, and he can get hit in the back of the head and be killed. These balls are coming in at 95 miles an hour, and I think that the that the MLB should fine, not fine, because these guys are making so much money. And I heard rumor, I don't know if it's true, that the Yankees will pay for it, or somebody else pays for their fines. I don't know if that's true. That's not the discussion. They should not fine them. They should suspend them. 30-day easy suspension. If it happens again, maybe you're out of the league. Because that needs to stop. Because one is, forget that somebody can get injured. Forget that for a minute. That's very important, but forget that for a minute. Most importantly is teaching kids to cheat, because that's cheating. I'm sorry. Some of you are going to say that's not cheating, but that's cheating. I hit the guy with the ball, and some people, I've had arguments with my friends that is part of the game, and there we go again, right, Tully? Oh, that's just Bob. He throws pitches at batters. That's just Bob. And again, making excuses. No, that is not part of the game. Part of the game is to, yes, brush that ball as close as you can to him. You brush that ball close to him, and maybe, let's just say, you hit him on the side. You can tell that wasn't purposely. Now, the batter can argue with you and say, no, you did it purposely, and a fight can break out. But when the ball goes straight for the player, you can tell the minute it's released out of his hands, it's going straight for the player. That's not right. And they need to do that. And if, I know a lot of my friends have given me arguments like, well, how do you know if it's not done purposely? The guy's just trying to push the guy off the mound a little bit. Then don't do that. Then don't do that part either. It's as simple as that. But I think people should start to get, maybe a year off from baseball. That'll hurt their wallets a little bit. Teams will start to really put down hard. You're not allowed to do that. It's really funny. If I'm a baseball player, right, and let's just say I get caught dealing drugs, let's just say. Find out that I was dealing drugs and stuff like that. They're going to say, wow, that's conduct unbecoming of a baseball player, and they're going to fire me. I think that this should be taken as serious as that. And I know I'm going to hear a lot of crap from players, and that's all right. You're cheating. You're not playing the game right. Most of all, you're teaching our kids to cheat. The kids are watching you. You are their idols. And what you're doing here is you're throwing a pitch and hitting someone in the back. Now, I'm not saying the Yankees are, don't do that, because I think Clemens was a player that used to do that all the time, and I hated it. I could tell you right now, I could remember watching him do it and say, no, he shouldn't do it. He shouldn't retaliate. If someone hits your teammate in the back with a ball, You know how you get them back? You hit a fucking home run. You win the fucking game. That's what you do. Excuse my language. Here we go. Some Q&A. Let's see. SK says, what does SK say? One time I had a Yankee shirt on in Boston and they harassed me. Wow. One time I had a Yankee game on in a Dodger game. I had a Dodger game. Dodgers and Chicago. My buddy was from Chicago. We drove from Vegas to LA to watch the game. And nobody bothered me. Nobody harassed me. Yeah, you can't go in there with gear. That's for sure. What else we got here? The MLB allows players to smoke weed now. Oh, wow. Oh, that's getting progressive. Well, that's good. So then if I got caught doing drugs or something, it would have to be harsher drugs. Let's see here. Telly says, you think in 2020, as civilized as we'd be more inclined to punish bullies, not condone it. It's not 1995. What? WTF. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Telly. And it's a shame. But we have to teach our kids, we have to teach the next generation. We even have to teach this generation. I'm not saying let this generation get a pass. No. We need to treat this generation. We need to teach this generation to say, nope. Let me tell you what you're doing. It's called, whatever you're deflecting. I don't know the proper psychological term for it when people do that. I think it's deflecting. I could be wrong. You're deflecting. No, it's a new era. It's not all right to do that. It really makes me laugh because when I see people do that, I say, would it be okay for me to inappropriately touch a female my age? And they're like, that's different. That's different than bullying. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're deflecting again. No, it's not. It's wrong. Okay, it doesn't matter if someone is touching a person inappropriately or if someone is bullying someone. It's inappropriate, it's wrong, and it has no place in work or in school or anywhere in the world. So handle it. Okay? Handle it. And I know that's tough for kids to do, especially if you are, I don't know, how old would you be, 10, 7, and you have this big teacher, and they're, eventually when you say, no, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, it's wrong. The teacher eventually is going to start using either her voice by yelling at you or some kind of physical intimidation to tell you, no, you're not gonna, whatever, you're not gonna outmaneuver me on this. I'm the teacher, you're the student, and no. And that's why I say, I don't care what area you live in, don't break the law, of course. I'm not giving you okay to break the law, but that's when I would film. Okay, I'm going to start filming this bullying going on because you're not going to do anything. And when I go to the proper channels, they're not doing anything. So I need proof that this is happening so you guys don't say it's all in my head. That's the other thing. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. No, it's not in my head. No, I'm not, I'm going to keep it real on this show. You guys know that. I keep it real. I don't give, what? I keep it real. Yes, there are kids and adults that you do something to them and they're like, you're bullying me. I'm like, no, I didn't bully you. Just a couple of days ago, I commented on I commented on a post, and the person got mad at me because I disagreed with them. I said, I forgot what we were talking about, but I said, I understand what you're saying, but the reason why, and this is exactly how I phrased it, the reason why they don't do that is because of this. I didn't say, you're wrong, no, you're dead wrong, wrong, And this is why. I didn't say that. I said, I understand what you're saying, but probably the reason why they don't do that is because of this. And the person right away got upset. And then one of the other people that watch, that watch the channel, not watch the channel, sorry, that helps me with the channel, turned around and said, that's very triggered or something to that case, saying that why what we said triggers you so much. And the person turned around and said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You claim to have a channel about anti-bullying, but yet you're bullying me. And I tried, and me and the other person, try to explain to this person that it's not bullying. We just have a disagreement, and it's okay to have a disagreement. So there are people out there that you say something to them and they're like, oh, I'm being bullied. And that's why a lot of people really, I think that's a large reason why a lot of people do that. Push aside the victim, because so many have done that. And you know who does that a lot too, believe it or not? The bullies. The bullies always turn around and act like the victim. I'm being victimized, I'm being bullied, after they just went and bullied someone. Any of you guys ever experienced that? Let's see. SK says, I was in school and a kid got in trouble because he kept saying words that made it sound like he was cursing. Well, yeah, good for him. That's inappropriate. If I'm in the workplace and I see a girl eating a taco and I say, hey, can I eat your taco? That's inappropriate. I didn't say a curse word, but it's inappropriate. So yeah, my son does that all the time, and I try my best to make him understand that that's still cursing. Shut the front door. What else does he say? What the fuck? He does that a lot. That's what my son does a lot. And it's like, okay, dude, relax. What's the longest time you waited for something? Well, can you elaborate a little further? I'm waiting right now to move to to Italy. So, there you go. 2 months, I think we've been waiting now. So 2 months waiting to move to Italy. I think I waited 6 months when we moved here from Las Vegas. Waited 6 months to get our stuff. What do you mean waited? You mean like waited for time to change? For people to understand that bullying is a serious thing? Well, I've been doing this for 15 years, so that gives you any idea, Tully, how long I've been waiting. 15 years for people to understand. I tell you right now, I'm really ashamed of the powers that be, all the powers that be, okay, in the United States. Because I honestly thought that, okay, I'm going to make, honestly, 15 years ago, I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring to light the bullying that happens at the Postal Service. And people are going to say, the Postal Service is a very serious job. Any postal people all over the world, good job that you guys do. Shout out to you guys. To every postal worker all over the world, whether you're Thai, in Thailand delivering mail, or you're in the UK, or you're in Canada, or you're in Australia delivering mail. Shout out to you. It's a very important job. Some people, let me tell you something, and I'm sure this happens all over the world. There's some people that don't come in contact with anybody because they're either old or maybe they made some mistakes in their life and people just have disowned them. They have no friends, no family, nothing. The only communication they get is with their mailman. The only person that they see is their mailman. I'm going to tell you something. I worked on a route one time where a lady died in her home. And she was in there for, I'm not going to give a number because then I'll be inflating it. I'm just going to say, you come up with whatever number you think is right. But she was in her home for days. No one came. I don't know how long it was. I want to say a little longer, but it doesn't matter. When you die, right, first of all, you shouldn't die in your home by yourself. But if you do, even if it's 24 hours, that's too long, right? She was in there for longer, way longer than 24 hours. And I think neighbors started noticing a stink, and they called the police. The police went in there, and she had died. Natural causes, but she had no people. And I remember her on my route. She had no people, nobody. The only information she got from the outside world was mail. So mail is very important. So I thought that, okay, I'll go to, you know, the powers that be in the United States, and I'll tell them of the truth of what's really going on in the Postal Service, the abuse, the lying, how they're firing people for no good reason, and then their offenses are able to stick, you know. And I honestly thought that they would be like, Richard, let's sit down, let's hear your story of injustice. Never came, so I'm waiting for that. So Tully says, yes, being patient for something positive to happen. Yeah, I've been waiting for 15 years, buddy. And hopefully I'll get to see it before, I'm 52 years old. Hopefully I'll see it before I go. I don't know. But yeah, 15 years then. To answer your question, let's see. I don't know what's wrong with the here we go. And he said that you were bullying him. It was a female, but yes, and we both were talking back and forth with this person, but they said they were bullying me, and that's what bullies do. And I think that is a reason. That's called gaslighting, by the way. I think that's a big reason, unfortunately, why people say, oh, that's just Bob. That's just Bob. It'll be okay, or that's just Bob, or that's just boys being boys. Let them just, tire themselves out. I think that's why people do that, because there are people that say, you have a disagreement like I did. Oh, I don't think that's necessarily the truth. And right away, oh, you're bullying me. Wow. That I can't believe that. And you call yourself a person that's trying to do right by bullies and whatever the ridiculous things these people said. And they were definitely wrong, and they got it all mixed up. And I think because they get it all mixed up, it's a reason why a lot of people just push victims away. Let's see what we have here. Sorry for the language, but I remember one time there was a guy who said he's blank blank Richard. That I'm blank blank. That me? There've been a lot of people that said a lot of crap. I don't pay any attention to them. You can't. Like I said, when it gets to the point that this show is so successful that they're making memes about me and they're doing all this, if it's funny, I'm going to bring it on the air. So if you trolls out there want to get on this show, make it funny. I'm always down to laugh, even if it's at me. A lot of people say, like you can't make jokes about cancer, you can't make jokes about bullying, there's certain things you can't make jokes about. No. I think you can make jokes about anything, and I think it's healthy for us to make a joke about certain things. Get down to business and make it stop. But then at the end, maybe laugh at it. Like I told you guys, I used to have a friend, she was a female, would always come up to me at work, put her hands on my shoulder and say to me, and whisper in my ear and go, you look good enough for a promotion. Somebody might say, that's not funny. That's not a funny thing to laugh about. Millions of women are losing jobs because of that, and here you are making a joke about it. I thought it was okay. But there's some people that never want to laugh. And you know what happens when you never laugh? You cry. Some emotion has to come out. Might as well make it laughter. Laugh about it and say, okay, we got a good laugh about it. Let's change it now. Let's change the way we think. And SK says, are they making memes? No, I don't think anyone's ever made a meme about me. I have a lot of great fan art, and thank you for that. Tully is one of those people that always giving me fan art, but never a meme yet. And so when that first person sends that first meme, if it's seriously funny, you thought I was going to say serious, huh? Gotcha on that. If it's funny, if it's seriously funny, I will show you guys it. You gotta laugh at yourself, you know? You gotta laugh at yourself. I mean, somebody could probably make a good video about all the mistakes I made while I was on the show, because it's live and sometimes I can't find the words to express myself and I make mistakes. Somebody's gonna make a video about that. And if it's funny, you know, one of those great videos where I'm actually like rapping a song, I think that is so talented. I gotta tell you, when people take like a speech and they put auto-tune, I think, to it, and they do something with the word, the way the word guy talks, it sounds like and they put it in a rap. That shit is funny. I would definitely play something like that if it's done right. If it's got a serious, nice beat, and it makes, if my head goes like this, and I laugh, it's coming on the show. So for all the trolls out there that want to troll that way, don't come on the show and curse and say you're this, you're that, and everything else like that, because you're just going to get blocked. And the great thing about it is, the great thing I like about this platform that Instagram has is, if someone curses, the only people that see it are the people in the live. When I keep it and archive it, no one sees that. Only if I mentioned, hey, this guy said this word or that word. Then, other than that, in the archive, it's not. So yeah, the people in the live can see it and ha ha ha, and you feel like a big guy because you did that. But I'm not worried about that. That's you know, even if we get to the point where I have, you know, 1,000 people in the show at one time, the people, when I archive it, are not going to know about it, as long as we don't, I don't mention it. You guys can type up, hey Richard, he said this, and that's fine. Say, hey Richard, this guy's cursing. Maybe I didn't notice it because I'm reading notes or I'm doing something else. Fine, I won't read that part, and then I'll just go on and just delete it and get rid of him or her, and that's it. You know, girls don't do things, and women and girls don't do things like that. You know, I don't think there's very many female trolls. I think mostly are boys, and that's it. Because there's no men that troll. Because if you troll, you're not a man. Only little boys troll. So you hear the music, and that's going to do it for us here on Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. I want to thank everybody that came on, especially Tully and SK. It's good to see you again, SK. I hope you can start joining us again. Pico must be working his butt off, man, because he hasn't been on the show in a while. And that's all right. He's been watching them. We've been talking, and he's been watching them when he has a chance, and that's important too. So Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by represent.com/store/thebullyexposed.com. We are turning our shirts, we turned this shirt here into a shirt, or I mean, we turned this post, we turned this post that you see into a shirt, and you can get it. So do what you can to get it. It's at represent.com/store/thebullyexposed. All right, so check it out. That's going to do it for me. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on and listening every day. I appreciate you if you're watching this in the recorded version. Don't forget to like, share, shout us out. Copy one of our, screenshot one of our pictures and put it on your account. Okay, you do that, we'll shout you out on the next show. Remember, anyone can be a hero. No, anyone can wear the clown. I mean, oh God, I'm all over the place today. Anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another and have a great day. There's something for the blooper reels, right?